If you're in this area, keep your doors locked, keep your windows locked, keep your cars locked, keep lights on outside. And if you do happen to spot someone suspicious, someone that's around 6 foot, around 200 pounds, and balding and wearing dark clothes, that could be him. We know that there was one shooter, there was one victim. We don't know the condition of the victim, we simply know that they were taken to the hospital, particularly if you're distracted by something like a phone. So make sure you're always paying attention to your surroundings. And that goes double for drivers. The weather's beautiful. I'm like Julie Andrews up on a mountain. We got a lot of things going on here. Food trucks are going to open up at 5. Oh, let's check in on them. Liam, buddy, how we doing?
Good.
Good? How many times have you fallen like that tonight?
1,000.
It seems like nowadays there are cameras everywhere. But when police have cameras situated right outside your home, that can feel a bit unnerving.
We just walked up here from Four Freedoms with this group that's at the end here. We're going to turn up the street corner, and I'm going to have Bernardo lift the camera up above his head and try to give you an idea for how wide that goes.
Well, all the food and activities certainly attract a lot of people, which means it can be very easy to end up lost in a crowd.
Well, I'm told that this intersection is notoriously hard to navigate. It's in a fast section of road with 2 blind hills on either side. While this is far from the only accident to happen there, it could have been much worse if not for the quick actions of the right people.
Felt like minutes, everything really slowed down, but in all actuality, you're talking milliseconds.
State Road 66, Sterling Road. A Jeep goes to cross and is hit by a truck right in front of Chris Gibson's dump truck.
The next best choice was to hit the rear end or the engine compartment as opposed to the passenger compartment, and so I did.
And he hit him and split him. The Jeep went into the ditch, the truck went towards the gas station. What I saw was the garbage truck just coming at my home.
It came to a halt in a ditch in front of Melody Arrieta's home. Chris had twisted his back, he had some neck trauma and bruising from the steering wheel and seatbelt, but he composed himself.
And then from there, just went to work trying to figure out who was hurt, how bad they were hurt, and where I could go to work at.
Melody checked on the man in the truck, then crossed the road.
And saw those kids that are family, that I tutor, that I have at school. I'm a substitute teacher, so I have them a lot. The boy was unconscious. I did not know if he was dead or alive. And Christopher, Larry Marshall driver, he was staying with the boy.
Chris happens to be a volunteer firefighter.
Grabbed his head, put his head in a C-spine immobilization, and started trying to talk to him, trying to get him to come to.
A nurse also happened to pass by and stopped to help.
The nurse was staying with the driver. Her name was Liberty. And she was alert but dazed. And then I stayed with Summer, who was in the back seat.
Melody used to work in a trauma center. Despite their pain and shock, they sat with those kids until EMTs arrived.
A random team came together, and that was something that was really special.
As the scene continued, Melody says the school's principal, neighbors, and just about anyone who cared came to check on the people in the accident.
There was probably 100 or more people just surrounded by my house, in my yard, just really praying.
She says the kids were all discharged within 24 hours, though one had to go back because of glass in her eye. She says folks who saw the accident weren't necessarily surprised given how the intersection is set up.
There is a yellow flashing light. Nobody pays attention to that. You see how fast they're going just to get out because you have a hill and a hill.
Melody says she hasn't lived there more than 2 years, and this was the 6th accident she's seen. I spoke with Chris's boss as well. He says he's a hero for what he did. Chris just says when you're a firefighter and you have that training, you should just always be ready to help. As for the kids, Melody says they pretty much all have concussions, and they hope the last girl with glass in her eye will be okay soon. As I was leaving, Melody's family was going to bring the kids some pizza.
I was hoping to keep some of the memories alive. Turned on the TV, and there, in full view, it was our whole history crumbling to the ground.
For her entire life, Nancy Hussman has felt the weight of Pearl Cleaner's legacy.
I'm the 4th generation. My great-great-grandfather started it in 1896. These are the 2 gentlemen that started it.
From its inception until 2017, the Korb family aspired to cleaning services so good, their ambitions were right in the title.
They wanted it to be white as a pearl.
With the building up in flames, she and her collection now carry the torch and her history.
like from the Waterworks Department, 1895 dog tax receipt. This was how the bleach came for the laundry, and last surviving thing we have of that.
A history so long, so rich, parts could easily be forgotten.
So I don't know, it must have been important to him that they framed it.
For Hussman, it's all worth keeping.
It's my family history, and we were all very proud of it, and they worked very hard to achieve it, keep it going.
The building, state-of-the-art for its time, ready for a makeover now, could have served as a monument to their generations of hard work.
The new owner was going to have a really wonderful purpose, and he was going to make condos or apartments and use the original shell. He was going to keep our legacy, or the name, going at least, and the location. A lot of sadness today for a lot of people.
Now, their legacy is divided between ash and memory, and the city waits to see if something new might take its place.
The rain has started here. It was nice enough to wait until after all of the activities here, which is good, because for the first week of something like Friday After 5, that's really important. You got to set the tone for things. So that's why me and Travis Onyet, our videographer, went around and just saw what people were up to today.
I'm with 14 News. I'm wondering what's up.
Just enjoying life, bruh.
Tavis was one of hundreds just trying to enjoy life at the first Friday After 5. Some took to the animals.
I think this is a cow, I don't know.
You could feed those.
Yeah, whatever cows eat.
And feed yourself whatever people eat.
It has strawberry jam, cream, and bread covered in chocolate.
Drinking certainly wasn't off limits either.
Yeah, I got a couple. You and I got to stack up. God gave you two hands for a reason.
Things are also a little peaceful on the park side of things. You can just come hang out, get some food if you're tired of all the commotion.
Yeah, the peaceful waterfront, that's not so much peaceful, but it is nice.
Like to flirt with the senoritas, drink pictures of margaritas.
How old are they?
1 and 1.
Okay. Well, how old were you when you got your first car?
17.
Whether it was your first time
I moved in like a week after they ended last year, so I'm very excited.
or not,
We've come down here many times.
there's plenty to do and see for the rest of the season of Friday After 5. And you can count on 14 News to be there each week of the season. So we're going to be out here every week here throughout the end of the summer. This is going on every Friday at, you guessed it, right around 5 o'clock. So be sure to come on down if you want to have some fun here throughout the summer. But for now, live in Owensboro, Brady Williams, 14 News.